Like I said, time is precious. Time is time is all that. Put it that way. Or as we say back in the day, time is motherfucker. Someone called it time is a bitch, but I don't think so. I think karma. No, that's a bitch. Some call it motherfucker. I love profanity. I'm sorry. Yeah, profanity. Old school. That's one part of old school I can't hang with because profanity is very part of any language, especially English. English is time is profanity is part of the American lexicon. We've always used it in one form or another. And maybe, oh, please. You're gonna use it. You know you're gonna use it. So stop doing what you're doing. Anyways, so yeah. That said, hey, camera, bomb. Okay. Time. Yeah, there's time. There's laws of causality. Here we go. Right there is one of my favorite words, causality. So I tried to instill in my son. Oh, he's in jail right now. Yeah. My son, sorry to throw you under the bus, but we all have our lives to live. You made your choices. Life is choices. Exactly what it is. Sometimes you make good ones, and sometimes you make bad ones. Yeah. Bad ones will get you. Okay. Time. Cause and effect. There we go. Time and space. Yeah, time. The author of that song pretty much got it right. Yeah. Anyways, so now the camera's on the other side. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's do that then. Oh, one thing that happened. I would have to say, one of my deepest issues that I've been, the older you get, you play with ideologies in your mind back and forth. Well, who's right? When it's, back then, old school, even way before old school. I mean, talking like back in the Victorian age. So that's where my mind's at right now. Constantinople. What made him make the separation between church, religion, and science, basically? Because, especially in Buddhism, there are so many commonalities between the two principles that they have their counterparts in each disciple, in discipline. They have their resonance. They resonate in both, both spheres of life, in religion and science. So, which causes in American patriarchy, which causes a lot of dissension, division, separation, borders, barriers. It's all that. So I really think we really should question about world history and look at world history and how it applies to today's contemporary times, and where we can go back and rethink our species, where we're going, considering that same context about religion and science, and why, or was it him, or was it, well, the powers that be, put it that way, that made that decision to make that separation between these two facets of life, religion and science. Because there was definitely room for separation. I mean, there's room, they both are, can be viewed as the separate entity, which they are considered today. But you go back in time, you go back in, even in all the non-Christian belief systems of the world, you'll find commonalities in both. And this is what has been on my mind for so long now. And I find anyone who has the same questions about life and why we're having the problems we're having today. A lot of the problems are based on questions like this. Who are we as a species? And that's the reason we have a lot of problems that we're having, because we don't really understand some of those questions that need to be asked, needs to be answered, basically. So yeah, what was who made that? Who made the decision for the separation between science and belief systems, i.e., religion? I hate that word. I seriously do, with passion. Even as a Buddhist, I mean, which is a secular part of Buddhism. I'm a Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist, which is definitely a sectarian part of Buddhism. But even then, I still have my own thoughts, and non-religious base, non-sectarian base. They're out there. I know if I'm thinking about it, I know other artists, other writers thinking about that. So we've got to get together and start answering these questions. Yeah. Not remembering everything that happened in my life, irregardless of nuance, because the nuances count, details is life. Like I said, life happens, but life happens in the nuances, the details in life. Small little crabby corners that not too many people get into, but you can fill in your mind. Just fills all those holes in for you, based on your values, judgments. So it's basically not remembering everything, all the details of my life, basically what happened in my life, and for the future. I do believe that the human soul is can only progress when it's given food. I mean, input, and so it gets input. So it's like a hungry kid in school. He eats and he feels good, and he's fulfilled physically. He's food for his mental health, his spiritual life. So, as I was saying, then as the human soul needs the the heart needs the heart to survive, and for the heart to be in working order, the human has to be in order, and basically a normal functioning, or normality is, because that's another word like people like to play around with, normality, because so the human heart needs input also from the senses, the human senses, and so it needs to eat and consume and digest, and it puts things where it needs to go on these little inboxes or folders or parts of our lives up here and here, and so I think that the human being is just we are basically a repository for our souls, and everything that happens in our lives eventually ends the parts that need the human soul needs to be up. I'm putting it in sort of like a computer IT type situation, because that's the only way I can respond to it, because I can actually respond to it a lot better using the IT analogy than anything else. So the human soul needs the human heart to be in good working order for it to upload to the human soul, and so it can fulfill its destiny. And I think those details of life, these little nuances of a life that we go through, these all end up in the human heart, and we consume them, we digest them. Our heart does what it has to do, and we come up with our values, our judgments, our morals, and what have you. And then from that, then the human soul says, well, I need this. It says, like, it goes a weekly shopping spree, like, well, I need this, need that. Oh, maybe some of that, a whole bunch of that. Get the bag out. So, the details of the things that happen in my life. Like I said, my big fear would be not remembering. That would be my biggest fear, and which is kind of weird too, because just a couple of weeks ago, I got a diagnosis from a doctor saying that I have oncoming Alzheimer's, I guess. Oh, hey, you know what? It's a battle. Life is a battle. We get the cards that we get, and you play them how you play them. So I'm going to fight that pitch as well as I can. And hopefully I'll win. And I'll try to do it with a good diet, with herbology. I can't. A friend of mine who was owns a Chinese herbs, does herbs for extracts, for supplements, and he actually lives over here. His office is over here, and he's like when it comes to like pharmacies and all things of the earth and all the herbs, everything. He's a guru. He really is. He's there's no quitting about that. He's what I'm just saying is that I'm going to try and do it with herbs and all that, and diet and good exercise. But the fact is, I guess this thing is going to make me forget. And it scares the ever-loving crap out of me. Just forget, you know. Yeah. And so like I said, what I'm gonna do about it is I can fight it, you know, fight the bitches as much as I can. Just do what I gotta do. And I know about herbs a lot more, you know, because of Jamie. You know, there's this company called Bad Monkey Botanicals in Olympia. And, well, he knows what he knows. But I know what I know. And I know that what we have been doing for many years now is in direct proportion, and direct, and it's just so not the way to do it. We've been, oh my God, it's like, we got to come up with new ways of doing things in life because we've been doing it. I'm basically a product of what not to do. I mean, my place in life, okay, I'm not in jail or anything like that. I got 3 brain cells that obviously work. They work finely, very finely. In fact, they function quite well. And they also work on other multiple levels and dimensions. So, you know, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight as hard as I can to make sure that I still remember that I don't fall down that rabbit hole all the way and just, you know, because that's the ultimate right there, the human mind. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, especially if it's your mind. That's the thing. People like to talk trash, you know, but when it comes down to it, your mind is your last safeguard. It's going to be there forever until the end of life as we know it. But I'm just saying, you know, it's going to be there for you for 24/7, 365, and never stops. It doesn't take a coffee break. It doesn't take a smoke break. It doesn't take any kind of break. It keeps on going, even when we're sleeping. It's working in the background. The human mind is an incredible machine. It just doesn't rest. And we need to understand it a lot more better than, yeah. So, I told you what scares me, and I told you I plan to fight it, basically. Yeah. It's next. Life. I don't know whether to say that I've been touched by life itself, or I've been blessed by life itself. Or I was just made aware of my own humanity. Could be that too. It's something I just thought of right now. Could be as simple as that. One time I had a moment. I do understand Christianity. I have my problems with it. I'm a Buddhist. But I also have my problems with Buddhism. And it's analogies, and it's not anything secular, I'm just saying. But life itself, oh, that's a whole nother can of beans. That's up there. And whenever I view God or Buddha or Shakyamuni or whomever, the Great Spirit in the sky, Great Spirit in the ground, on earth, it was like I was it took its hand and like just passed through me. We had those moments and say, whoa, what was that? I had a moment there. And then you realize for a moment it was almost like a moment of death and of birth, of rebirth, of re-death. It was weird. It was like both at once. It was like that hand just goes right through you. Whoa. Okay. Do I know? No. I don't know. Yeah. It was a very, can I say, spiritual moment. If I had to be pushed forward, I would have to say spiritual. That's the only thing I can say. That's the only word the only word I can actually use to explain what that feeling was like. It was and so and when I was a better person for it, I don't know, we'll find out how it ends up. It's always I think it's just beginning. And that particular story, because you're the first person I've ever told that. But it happened, regardless, and I'll take that to my death. Yeah, it just it happened a few years ago. I just could never admit to it. It did happen, but now I do. And it did happen, and I remember when it happened. Yeah, it's a very spiritual moment I had, and I'm very grateful for that happened. I'm grateful for knowledge that it gave me. A lot of stuff I don't like. I'm not gonna say like, well, I know this, I know that. No, it is not that at all. Because knowledge is, regardless of what you know or what you don't know, you still know. I'm just saying, so so does it really matter? I mean, it's just as long as you know, that should be the rewarding factor here. That people do know what truth is, and truth is truth. Here we go. What people think, even when you get down to it, truth always remains. Always, it's just like all the sediment, like everything, or the oils of earth get into water, and eventually you'll find them floating on top of the water. The substance always raises. It's like the old saying, like, what's that? Anyone who knows about biology knows that to be a fact. You go to the surface and look, even in the chemistry, even in the lab, you look at the water and you see film floating on the top of water. The water is probably a lot heavier in element than some of the substances. So, of course, everything will rise to the surface. So that's what I'm saying. Truth will always rise to the surface, basically. Always has and always will. Basic scientific fact. Yeah.
Sorry.
10 seconds. Okay. That's the lady I hope I win. I'm exposing my hair. Yeah. It's a beautiful lady. Nina Turner. My sister has got it together. Seriously, does. And 10, 97.